There was a man called John Lennon. He left the house and was killed. The next day, his 21-year-old fan named Susanna Hoffs learns about it and finds it a perfect reason to become a professional musician. She posts an advertisement to which bassist Annette Zilinskas responds. Meanwhile, Susanna responds to Lynn Elkinsat. She calls Lynn, but she's not home. Her roommate Vicki Peterson answers the phone. The girls have a short conversation and it turns out that Vicki is also a guitarist and she plays music with her sister Debbi. The ladies had met and one thing led to another. They made a band called The Colors. Susanna Hoffs rhythm guitar, Annette Zilinskas bass, Vicki Peterson lead guitar and Debbi Peterson drums. Every one of them can sing, so they share their vocal parts. They changed the band name to The Bangles and nothing happens for the next 2 years. It means they released a single and an EP, even signed a record deal with faulty products, but no one cares. So Annette leaves The Bangles and joins Blood on the Saddle. Now our beauties need a new bass player. There were a lot of women around, but Michael Steele was the only one. And she's a very interesting person. She can play, sing, write songs, even recorded a solo album but never released. Anyway, the best thing is that in 1975 she was a member of the Runaways, short before this band began its international career. Later she played in several groups and tried to play solo. She openly says she's fed up with female band's company, but there's nothing better to do, so she will join the Bangles. The problem is there's another band called The Bangles. That's why Susanna decides to name the band The Bangles. They sign a deal with Columbia and quickly record the album called All Over the Place. Vicki wrote most of the lyrics, sometimes with Susanna's help, and they share the main vocal parts. The exceptions are two covers sung by Debbi. The first one is Live by the Merry-Go-Round and the second is Going Down to Liverpool by Katrina and the Waves. Written by Vicki and Susie, Hero Takes a Fall is doing pretty well on the charts. The group's open CD Lauper shows and has some of their own gigs as well, but the audience metaphorically throws tomatoes at them. Instead of crying, they enjoy it because Debbi reminds them that Dylan in 1966 was also treated that way. Admittedly for other reasons, but never mind. Fortunately, the single called Going Down to Liverpool brings them some fame and recognition. Not because of the music, but because of the music video directed by Susanna's mother. It's because the video features Leonard Nimoy, the Spock from Star Trek and privately the friend of Hoff's family. And the band would remain stagnant, but when Prince, who already is one of the most popular musicians of the time, watches the video for Hero Takes a Fall and falls in love. Officially, he loves the band's music. In fact, he loves Susanna's eyes. The boy doesn't know how to talk to a girl, but he remembers the song Manic Monday he wrote 2 years ago and gave to the band Apollonia 6, but they didn't make it a hit. So he brings the girls a demo and they record it. Very interesting way to get a girl. In a few years he will do the same. In 1994 Edyta Górniak will perform at the Eurovision and Prince's reaction will be exactly the same as here. Oh, what a pretty face. Okay baby, take my song and let's go out for a dinner. Bright boy. Anyway, now the Bangles recording the new material for the next album. Most of them are original songs, most notable Walking Down Your Street, In a Different Light and a very underrated Following. In addition, there are covers. September Girls, originally recorded by Big Star, and Jules Shear's If She Knew What She Wants. Shear's version went unnoticed, but the Bangles version became a hit. However, the most interesting moment is recording the song called Walk Like an Egyptian. The song has been written by Liam Sternberg. It was supposed to be recorded by Toni Basil, but she gave up. Lynn Lovitch was supposed to be recorded, but she decided that she preferred to spend some time with her family. Sternberg sees potential in the song, so he brings it to the Bangles. Debbi wants to sing it, and the girls say alright. She records the vocals, and the album's producer, David Kahn, tells her try again. The situation repeats over and over again. And then he finally says, you can sing, get out of here. Probably Debbi expected some solidarity from her friends, but she's back to the studio and she sees that Vicki sings the first verse, Michael sings the second, and Susanna sings the third. Debbi plays drums, but David throws them away. Debbi records a whistle, but David throws them away, and again uses a synthesizer. So, she was supposed to be the main character in the Walk Like an Egyptian, but the song was recorded without her participation. The only left her to do was a dance in the music video. The first misunderstandings begin, but are eased for a while when the single Manic Monday and the album Different Light are released in January 1986. In the US and in the UK the single reached number 2 on the charts, while the album lands on the podium on both sides of the Atlantic, and then real fame begins. The next single, If She Knew What She Wants, doesn't sell very well, but is very well received. The next single is Walk Like an Egyptian and reaches first place in many countries in the world, including the most important, in the US. At the concerts there is madness among fans, and girls are experiencing the peak of popularity. On February 9, 1987, in London at the Brit Awards, they received the award for the best band from outside the UK. They are also nominated for the award of the most promising band by the readers of Smash Hits magazine, but lose the competition with the Scottish band Wet Wet Wet. Then they agree to record a song for the movie Less Than Zero. They remake Simon and Garfunkel's Hazy Shade of Winter. However, it is more important for them to collect the new material for the next album. Vicki Peterson brings a few songs, Michael adds 3 brilliant songs, Complicated Girl, Something to Believe in and Glitter Ears. Debbi shows off a catchy material for the next single, in the form of the song Be With You. Susanna's material is primarily In Your Room and I'll Set You Free. And something else that will turn out to be the biggest hit of the band. It's a song called Eternal Flame. Susanna is aware that she has written her magnum opus. She wants to perform the song to the best of her ability, and she's looking for some specific method. Then the new producer of the album, David Zigerson, tells Susanna that there is a very specific way, singing naked. Susanna undresses and starts to sing. This is how the band's most important song was recorded. And here's a little piece of advice. If you ever go on a date with a girl, she will be 19% fascinated by a series called Lucifer. I don't know the show, but I remember one scene when he sits at the piano for some reason and singing Eternal Flame by the Bangles. So if you say something like, well, I don't know Lucifer, but I know that scene when he's singing the song by the Bangles called Eternal Flame, recorded in 1988 and released as a single in January 1989, which Susanna Hoffs sang naked in a California studio, you can score some points. Proven method. And on October 18, 1988, the album Everything was released. It was promoted by the single In Your Room. Solid places but without madness, because on the most important charts both the album and the single maneuver between the 5th and 15th place. Therefore, in January 1989, Eternal Flame was released as a single and conquered all major charts. Added to this is the legendary music video with singing Girls by the Ocean. From now on, there is only Susanna Hoffs and the Bangles. And worst of all, it probably doesn't bother her at all, and she doesn't even hide it. As Susanna is now like a combination of Freddie Mercury and Mick Jagger. All the cameras on me, my darlings. So the girls still play concerts, but the atmosphere is tense. Debbi insists on her song Be With You coming out as the next single. And although it is a very good song, in the US it reaches only the 30th position. Anyway, if you turn out the video, pay attention who should be the most important there and who with the one flirtatious smile still in the show. And there's one more single called I'll Set You Free. That's Susanna's theme co-written with Eric Lowen and Dan Navarro. The lyrics tell about the end of the love relationship. But given that these are the band's last moments, the song sounds like Susanna singing it to the girls. It was the same in Queen. Roger Taylor wrote These Are the Days of Our Lives about his children, about his age and about his life. But that was one of the last songs Freddie sang, so people said that the song is a farewell to the fans. So the story of I'll Set You Free is very similar. Now the friction is getting stronger. The girls would still like to play together, but Susanna tells that she has had enough and wants to make a solo career. Everyone expected that, but the other three are mortally offended. Michael and Debbi try to do something, but nothing works out for them. Vicki forms some bands that break up quickly. Michael playing in a band called Crash Wisdom wrote the song I Don't Want to Say Goodbye. It's a very good song, but unfortunately she never recorded in a studio. But Susanna thinks she's starting well. She records a pretty successful album When You're a Boy, but the very good single My Side of the Bed is outdone on the charts. Later the world forgets about her, and in 1996 she tries to return with the album Susanna Hoffs. Everyone around knows that the record is good, but nobody buys it anyway. She realizes that the breakup of the Bangles was a mistake, and the period of apologizing to her friends begins. She's helped in this by her husband, who's the director, and he makes the movie Austin Powers, The Spy Who Shagged Me. The girls are to come together and they record a song for the film. It ends with reactivation. In 2003 the album Doll Revolution is released. 2 years later Michael Steele leaves the group and disappears. Nothing noteworthy has happened since then. It can only be noted that from 2005 to 2008 A.B. Travis played the bass, and in 2011 another album was released, Sweetheart of the Sun. And since 2018 their first bass player, Annette Zilinskas, has been playing with them. The girls continue to perform and play concerts. But this most important period of the band ended in 1989. And I decided to remind you about them because that's a really good band and one of my favorites. So I reminded you. That was everything I wanted. Congratulations.